Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to 2025. I'm here to kick off our Q1 training block, ready for the new year. We have an exciting Q1 at LP. We got lots going on. We start our strength and power training block on January 6th. That's Monday. We have a big challenge starting up on January 20th, you versus you. And we got some fun events planned for the quarter, a HYROX PFT, a family day fun event, and Friday Night Lights annual tradition, CrossFit athletes throwing down in February and March. And then we're going to finish off the training block with some Fit Life benchmark testing. So for those of you who don't know and maybe new to the LP family and community, we do 4 phases of training in a year. Phase 1 is strength and power. Phase 2 is summer shred. That's going to be happening in April, May, and June. So phase 1, strength and power, January, February, March. Phase 2, summer shred, hypertrophy focus, muscle building, lean muscle mass. Summer shred, April, May, June. Athlete conditioning in the summer, July, August, September. And then foundation season in October, November, and December, which we just finished up to create the most well-rounded training program on the planet. You heard it here. So here we go. Training block. Q1, strength and power. Here's what it looks like. Time frame, January 6th to March 30th, 12 weeks long. We're going to break it up into 2 mini cycles. The first one is going to be from January 6th to February 16th. That's going to be our 6-week mini cycle to kick things off. That one is going to be focused on power. Then we're going to have a little reload blitz week, February 17th to Feb 23rd. And then mini cycle number 2 is going to start. It's going to be 5 weeks long from February 24th to March 30th. And then at the end of the phase, we're going to test our Fit Life benchmarks, which is going to be our VO2 max tests, our strength tests, our power tests, our body composition, and we're going to get a new benchmark going into the remainder of the year. We've decided that we're going to do our Fit Life benchmark testing at the end of Q1, which will be that March-April timeline, and then another set of testing in the September-October timeframe, right around our Fit Life challenge. So those will be the 2 times a year. So that's what strength and power training block looks like. That's what you can expect for the next 12 weeks. Training focus: as we age, we lose 10% of our strength and our power and our conditioning every decade. That's 1% per year, forever over 40. So in this phase, we're going to put a big emphasis on building that power and strength and conditioning so that we can work against anti-aging, so that we can remain strong and powerful and fit forever. And we're going to work on really, in this phase, translating your strength and your conditioning into some really functional fitness. So we're going to test you with some tough workouts that are going to apply your strength and that are going to apply your conditioning into some really practical, tough workouts. So the strength side of things is going to be focused on explosive and dynamic power. It's also going to be focused on our traditional strength, which is squats, bench, and deads. We're going to see some cleans and presses, which are going to go into that explosive and dynamic side of things. And we're going to see 2 lifts on each of the strength days. So excited for that. We're going to have a primary lift, which is going to be our power development. And then we're going to have a secondary lift, which is going to be our strength development. And then on those strength days, we'll also have some sort of a finisher. On Mondays, it's going to be core strength. On Wednesdays, it's going to be stamina focused, so building kind of like we did during the Blitz week. We did 100 push-ups for time as a finisher one day, so we'll have different finishers like that. And then on Fridays, it's going to be a strongman type finisher with sandbags, farmer's carries, sandbag cleans, sleds, that kind of stuff. On conditioning days, we're going to be doing some aerobic skills. So last phase, we focused on developing our VO2 max on our Tuesday Sweat Warrior workouts, and we also focused on that skill development work on our strength days. So now we're going to tie those two together, and we're going to tie our aerobic VO2 work and our skill work together by creating some awesome conditioning circuits that include both. We're also going to be doing some Metcon repeaters. Those are the big, long conditioning chippers, and then you get a chance to do the same Metcon again, and you're trying to match or beat your time. We're going to be doing some odd and even intervals. So, for example, every 3 minutes times 6 sets. So the first set you would do, ski plus pull-ups, and then in the second interval you would do row plus push-ups. Then you would go back to the first interval, back to the second for 3 rounds of each, and then we're going to be doing some fun AMRAPs with 3 minutes on, 1 minute off as an example. So you get as much work done as you can in 3 minutes, and then you'll take 1 minute off, and then you'll get as much work done as you can in 3 minutes. You take 1 minute off. So some fun, different variations to our conditioning work. So looking forward to those. And here's a little sneak peek into week number 1. So on the left-hand side, we have our Monday, an example of a Monday strength day. So for power development, we are going to kick things off with a EMOM. Every 10 minutes, you're going to complete 3 to 5 heavy kettlebell swings and 1 clean and jerk. You're going to be doing 10 sets of that, and each set you're going to be trying to build in weight on that clean and jerk. So a nice combination of, heavy lifting, but also heavy lifting under a little bit of fatigue, combining the kettlebell swing and the clean and jerk. So some really good explosive power development there. Then our strength development on that day, every 3 minutes as an example, times 5 sets. We're going to complete 3 to 5 back squats, building some really good strength, and then pairing that with somewhere around 6 to 8 box jumps. So we'll get a little strength and conditioning in that component, and then we'll do a core finisher with some of the fun new movements we tested out at the end of the last training block, those rollouts that we did with the barbells, and then a new fun one that we'll test out, which is called the Chinese plank. If you want to check out that bad boy, you can look it up on YouTube. A great exercise to build the glutes, hamstrings, lower back, and core. Wednesday, similar setup, a nice big warm up to get the upper body, shoulders warmed up, and then into power development on this day. For an example, we do every other minute times 10 minutes, so 5 sets of each. We would do somewhere between 6 to 8 push presses in minute 1, and then 6 to 8 strict pull-ups in minute 2, and we would repeat that for 10 minutes, giving you 5 sets of push presses and 5 sets of strict pull-ups. And then for strength development on that day, as an example, every 3 minutes times 5 sets, we would complete 3 to 5 bench presses, and then we would complete somewhere between 6 to 8 per arm bent over rows. And then, like we did during our holiday blitz, we could do a stamina finisher, which would be something like 100 push-ups for time. And then Friday, similar setup, slightly different variation. For power development, we could be looking at something like an every minute on the minute for 10 minutes with some box squats or some front squats, really focusing on speed and power for this movement. So maybe like 70 to 75% of your 1 rep max for somewhere between like 3 and 5 reps. but focused on really explosive, crisp movements every minute on the minute for 10 minutes. And then for our strength development, same idea with that every 3 minutes times 5 sets. We can be doing some deadlifts or some sumo deadlifts and pairing with that with some sort of plyo movement like a lunge jump or a broad jump to build some strength and conditioning into that. And then, like I mentioned, a finisher on Fridays, a little strongman work, some sandbag cleans, some farmer's carries, some sled work, some sort of push, pull, carry type work. So excited for those big strength days throughout the phase. A little sneak peek into what our conditioning work will look like. So on the left-hand side would be an example of our Sweat Warrior workouts. To start the phase, we're going to do 3 12-minute circuits. One of them will be some bike conditioning combined with a skill. Another circuit will be a ski conditioning combined with some skill. And then the third circuit will be row conditioning combined with a skill. And some of the skills could be push-ups, handstand push-ups, wall walks, pull-ups, chest to bar, muscle-ups, sit-ups, V-sits, toes to bar. And then for the first 4 weeks of the phase, it's going to look like this. Every 2 minutes in week 1 times 6 sets, you're going to complete some sort of conditioning and skill, and then you'll repeat that every 2 minutes. In the second week, it'll be every 3 minutes times 4 sets, and then every 4 minutes times 3 sets, and then the last week will be every 6 minutes times 2 sets. So excited for that build there, increasing our volume and our intensity week over week. So pumped for that. And then Thursdays will look quite different than Tuesdays. It's going to be more DB snatches, box jumps, thrusters, burpees, wall balls, skipping, shuttle runs, kettlebells, all those very functional movements that combine strength and conditioning and take a lot of focus and energy. We'll be doing some of those Metcon repeaters. We'll be doing some big long AMRAPs and chippers. We'll be doing some fun threshold work where you're running through an AMRAP for maybe 3 or 4 minutes while your partner's riding, let's say, on the bike for 3 or 4 minutes. You're working at threshold, they're working at zone 2 recovery, and then you go back and forth for a few sets. And then, of course, we'll keep the fun partner work in on those Thursday workouts too. So excited for the conditioning days. Some really, really good, challenging conditioning work coming up. Then what's next? So you versus you challenge starts January 20th. Of course, LP does things a little bit different than the rest of the fitness world, and where most people are kicking off the new year with their 20-day challenge to kickstart your habits, we're of course testing ourselves to get in a really good routine, get up and running, get rolling. And then when most other people are dropping off their fitness routines and they're starting to slip, that's when we kick it up a notch. So starting on January 20th to February 28th, the You versus You challenge will begin. So the focus of this challenge is building really good habits and routines around those fit life goals that you created in the last phase, the last challenge. So for those of you who completed the Fit Life Challenge, you know that you got all of your Fit Life benchmarks. And from those benchmarks, you identified the key areas that needed your attention. So let's say for me, it was body composition, mobility, and VO2 max that needed my focus. For the You versus You challenge, I'm going to use those 3 areas of focus, and now I'm going to build some habits around the fitness, nutrition, and recovery required for all of those goals. So throughout the challenge, I'm going to be building that. Each week, we're going to be completing a fun micro challenge to keep you motivated and have you working towards those goals. And the best thing about this challenge is it's not about competing against anyone else. It's about, building your habits and making sure that you're continually improving and focusing on those areas that you need to focus on to get the year started with a bang. So, of course, the fun part about this challenge too is we have some amazing prizes lined up. So excited to launch those. So stay tuned, get your year started off on the right foot with some good habits and routines, starting with the new phase on Monday. And then on January 20th, we will be launching the You versus You challenge. So look for more info to get signed up, and we'll spend the first week or so here before the challenge starts just getting organized, selecting those goals, and then getting prepared for the first micro challenge within the big challenge. So excited for that. Q1 events, what do we got going on? So we have a fun family day event planned for Monday, February 17th. That's going to be here before we know it. Friday Night Lights, our annual tradition, our CrossFit athletes. The CrossFit Open season will kick off on Friday, February 28th. Week 1, week 2 will be March 7th, and week 3 will be March 14th. So excited to cheer on the crew and compete against fellow LP members on Friday nights. We usually get some popcorn and sit back, relax, and watch them suffer. So excited for that. Stay tuned for more info. And then we're going to also be doing a HYROX PFT in this first quarter. We got to keep our HYROX athletes motivated and crushing their goals in Q1. So for those of you who don't know, the PFT is HYROX baseline physical fitness test. And the cool thing about the PFT is you finish as fast as you can, and then you can compare your time to the rest of the athletes around the world that have done the PFT, and it gives you a nice benchmark so that you can always keep pushing to improve. So along with racing HYROX, the PFT is a really cool test that's a baseline of your fitness. So that test, you can check it out online. It starts with a 1,000-meter run and then goes into some burpees and then some lunges and then some rowing and then some push-ups and then finishes with everyone's favorite, the wall ball. And the last thing in Q1 is our ladies support group, which launched in 2024, will be continuing in 2025. So any new members, part of the community, please feel free to reach out to join in with this group of ladies. Throughout the year last year, they did some awesome meetups with professionals in our community to help support with everything that ladies need support with. So the first get together, the Hot Flash Hangout, is on January 30th, 6:30 p.m. at LP. And it sounds like you ladies will be having lots of fun sharing stories and just getting to know each other more and supporting each other through the challenges that us boys have no clue about. The 12th annual Christmas party already happened. So, do we have any questions for those of you who joined in? Thank you for joining, and let me know if there's anything that I missed or anything you wanted to hear more about. Super excited for this upcoming phase. We got some awesome training planned. We have some awesome events planned. And of course, the You versus You challenge, which the details will be rolling out once everyone gets back to reality next week. And the kids go back to school and life returns to somewhat normalcy. We'll start rolling out the details for that. If you guys don't have any questions, 21 minutes. That's a new record. Super excited for the upcoming phase. And we'll see all of you guys in the gym crushing your goals. 2025 is here. Let's do it, crew. Keep up the hard work.